Watkins and also Riverside. Dodds will jump up at center for Jackson Center against Hampshire of Lehman, and the opening tap goes to Orlick. He'll try an early three that's no good. Stick back won't go down from Geisy. This time it's pulled away by Dodds. And we've got an out-of-bounds violation that will give the ball to Lehman, so there will be a turnover against Jackson Center after they pulled off the rebound. Cavalier basketball. They'll work the perimeter. From the left side, it's banked home. Derek Orlick for two. Lehman with the early advantage. Bunky over the timeline for JC. Goes right in front of us to Stockstill. Lazy pass barely gets to Bunky, who will penetrate, take a glorified free throw that falls short. Sargent battles for the rebound. Jackson Center pulls it away. Stockstill up and in. That will knot the game at 2 apiece. About 43 seconds into the contest. Dembski for three. Count it. Jim Dembski. Jackson Center on the attack, trailing it by 3 points. Loose ball, here's Lehman. Dembski will send the lead that nobody will catch. Turnovers are exchanged, basketball back to Jackson Center, still down by 3. Dave Ross with Bob Wise and our cameraman Dan Eccles from Lehman High School, where we'll return one more time this season in mid-January when Lehman entertains a team that is currently undefeated in the Anna Rockets. Dodds right side will hit the cutter. That's Stockstill. Now to the baseline, Woolley. Up a little strong. Rebound, Lehman, Geisy. Cavaliers on the gallop. 3-point attempt, Orlick off the front of the rim. Jackson had 4 candidates to pull off a rebound. This is Bunky stopping just over the timeline. Stockstill back to Bunky. He'll get it in the paint to Baker, top of the key. He was open. Off to Stockstill. Up, no. Rebound, Cavaliers, Hampshire. Off to Dembski. Dembski to the top of the key. Coach John Cook saying we will see a lot of zone tonight by Jackson Center, although at the moment that would have, yeah, now we see some zone. Thought we might be looking at man-to-man, but plainly it's not that. Top of the key, Orlick can't get it to fall. Foul on the rebound. Banging inside over the back on Mitch Geisy. His first, it'll be common. As we salute more of our sponsors, Minster Bank, The Spot Restaurant, Errol Browd of Edward Jones and Company, Dickman Supply Company, Mark Nutt Muffler and Tire of Piqua, the Sidney Shelby County YMCA, and Sidney Interstate Shell. Stockstill against the 1-2-2, has his pocket picked by Geisy, sends it across to Hampshire to the top of the key. Sends it on the right wing, that'll be Orlick. He'll go from about 12, bad angle, shot no good. Some contact on the rebound, ball out of bounds will go to Lehman as Sargent was mixing it up with Dodds under the bucket.
Well, looks like Orlick has got permission to shoot anytime he's got the ball.
You got it.
From anywhere.
That's exactly the case, Bob. Permission one thing, encouragement is the other, and he's got both. There'll be a push underneath on Dodds. His first likewise on the team. Team fouls are even at 1 apiece. 2.5 minutes into this rare Friday night non-conference game. Something Lehman in future years will be very anxious to schedule if at all possible. Dembski double clutches in the key and scores. Independence, which Lehman will be starting next year, usually end up playing a lot of Tuesdays and Saturdays. They'll be glad to get their Friday outings wherever possible. Jackson Center available this evening because the Shelby County League is not playing tonight as a league.
This looks like a different Lehman team than I saw play against Fairlawn. They were kind of slow and lethargic. Tonight they're getting the ball and taking it to the hoop.
Helen, you recall, Bob, after the game you saw, Lehman didn't have much trouble the next night in taking apart St. Henry. And they haven't lost since with a modest 2-game winning streak. Baker, top of the key, goes right side to Bunky. He'll bounce it low. That's Dodds in the paint. He'll draw a foul against Geisy. Geisy's second, representing the team total. And Lehman will dispatch a substitute into the game. This will be 14, Justin Seger. 6'2 sophomore who's continuing fine work from football onto the basketball floor this winter.
And he had 20 points against Mechanicsburg.
Baker left corner hits the three for the Tigers. That'll make it 7-5. Home team, Lehman by 2. Lehman tries a lob. That wasn't there. Ball stolen away easily by Stockstill. Now to Bunky. Bunky around Orlick, brings it all the way down with the right hand, no good. Rebound Dodds, gets a handle, puts it up and in. He's headed to the line. That should go on Brad Hampshire. And it will. His first, team's third. Jackson has come back to tie. Dodds trying to complete the old-fashioned three-pointer that would put the visitors in the lead. It's too strong off the back. Hampshire will pull it away. He'll bring it down himself. Wants to go coast to coast. Double pump, no. Tap, no. Ball off Jackson, out of bounds. It'll be kept by Lehman. Pretty good pace. We're almost halfway through the opening frame. Orlick will shoot a very long three. Right back at him. That'll be Hampshire over the back. He's picked up 2, as had Mitch Geisey, who had exited. Let's see if Hampshire comes out at the 4:20 mark. It appears that he will. Andy Malarkey, number 4, will come in for Lehman on the next dead ball. Lehman will tell Hampshire to be very careful until they can get him out of the lineup. Score tied at 7. Stockstill gives it baseline. They'll come out on top. Bunky for 3. It'll fall short. Ball fielded by Hampshire. He'll leave it for Dembski to run the show, as he does in football. Cavs work on the perimeter. This is Orlick. Kind of a matchup zone, I'd say, at this moment. Right side, they have Sager. Top, that'll be Orlick. That's good for 3. Orlick with 5. Dembski has that same total for Lehman's, 10 points. Cavaliers also zoning. Here's Stockstill. 3:25 left in the period. Bunky squares for 3 and buries it. He got his feet set and put her down. So the teams trade threes after a 7-all tie, and we're knotted again.
He's got to be the shortest varsity player in county history for a long time anyway. 5'5". But he can pop him in from outside.
Sure can. He had room to load right there. Orlick right side, another trifecta. He's got it. Orlick with 8 in the quarter. That'll make it 13-10 Cavaliers. Lehman tries for a 3-game winning streak tonight. Jackson Center tries to keep their week perfect. Beautiful movement to the bucket. There's a good sequence. Finished off by Adam Baker to make it 13-12 Lehman. Dembski signals a new set. Uses a sergeant pick to take the ball left. Hampshire's still in the game. They'll get it on top to Malarkey. Right side, Dembski. They'll bring it low. Hampshire up, in, foul on Stockstill.
You mentioned Dembski playing the point guard. On defense, he's the man under the basket in the 1-3-1 zone. It's kind of unusual to have the little man under the basket.
He's the one roaming the baseline. Second free throw's good. They'll finally get Hampshire out of there in favor of Malarkey. (16-12). Scoreboard shows 15. I'm showing 16. We'll see if they make a change. Top of the key is Bunky. Bunky will go back on the left. Woolley will bring it out to Bunky. He'll try 3. That falls short. Cavaliers on the move, though Jackson Center had the numbers back. Dembski all the way. That's no good. Follow no. One more time. That'll be 2 points. Justin Sager for Lehman.
Now they've got Malarkey out of the basket in the chaser role. Dembski's on the wing.
Bunky will bring it down low to Dodds. He goes up strong and is fouled.
Coach Freeze is using that 1-3-1 mostly because it was so effective against Mechanicsburg. He said they just kind of did it as a trial, and it worked so well against Mechanicsburg, and now they're also doing it here against Jackson Center.
Foul on Sargent is his first. Free throw on its way. That'll be short from Dodds. Jackson Center remains with 12. He had the second one coming anyway. One more time, this one's too strong. Rebound Sager of Lehman off to Dembski. Malarkey with 1:20 over to Dembski. Cavaliers are up by 5. Top of the key, Orlick, 3 more off the front. 40 black, that'll be whistled on Lance Woolley. His first, team's third. It'll be a common foul with 1:12 as we salute Area Energy and Electric with Verizon Wireless, Abby's Restaurant, Shelby County Collectibles, and Geyers Chrysler in Fort Loramie. Cavaliers, a little trouble getting it in, finally get the job done. Dembski from the corner. That will miss everything, but a long carom, out of bounds touch by Lehman. It'll belong to Jackson Center, down by 5 with 1:05 in the first period. Bunky signals a play, 1-3-1. Indeed, Dembski is at the baseline. Right-hand side, it's Dodds. He'll send it across. Stockstill for 3. That's off the back. Cavaliers, no problem with a Sager rebound. This is Malarkey. Over to Orlick, 43 seconds. Remains 17-12. Top of the key, Haney is in, number 3. Over to Dembski. Orlick well beyond the arc. He'll penetrate. Got a body check out there against Adam Baker. His first, team's fourth. 4 individuals for the Tigers have picked up single fouls. 2-man officiating crew working here this evening. Stockstill out for JC with the entry of Shane Myers, a 6'2 junior, wearing number 33. 30 seconds, there's a 3-pointer. That's in and out by Haney. Stick back is good. That'll be Haney. 19-12 is our correct score. Spin inside for the Tigers, no good from Flatfoot. Mark Flatfoot averaging 10 points and 7 rebounds coming off the bench. Orlick right side, tries another 3, it'll fall short. Myers able to control the rebound for JC as the quarter comes to an end. After 1 period, Lehman 19, Jackson Center 12. People's Federal Savings and Loan Association has served the financial needs of the individual consumer since 1886, with their current home office designed by the legendary Louis Sullivan opening in 1917. In recent years, they've added full-service locations in both Anna and Jackson Center, staffed by experienced personnel from those areas. Coming in the spring will be another full-service office in the new Walmart Superstore in West Sydney. People's Federal is an equal opportunity lender owned by many of its customers and employees. Leading scorers in the ballgame through the first 8 minutes for Jackson Center, Adam Baker with 5. Meanwhile, for Lehman, Derek Orlick has tallied 8. Bob?
Shooting, both teams are shooting the exact same thing, 38%. Jackson has attempted 8 fewer shots, 5 out of 13, 38, 8 out of 21 for Lehman. Lehman has a slight edge in rebounding, 10-7. At the free throw line, 1 out of 2 for Lehman and none for Jackson Center. Turnovers also fairly even, 3-2 favor Jackson Center.
Tiger basketball, but that doesn't take long. Haney gets the steal, goes the length and lays it in. Pete Haney with 4. It's 21-12. 9-point Lehman lead. Jackson's thrown it away again. Orlick on the breakout, stops on top, waits for one of the guards in Dembski, who will shoot a 3. It's good. Dembski with 8. Jackson Center will take time. 7.5 minutes till halftime. The score has been doubled. 25-12, excuse me, in favor of Lehman. Geyers is your award-winning 5-star Chrysler dealership in Fort Loramie, featuring a full line of new and pre-owned cars, trucks, and vans. With over 400,000 miles behind their wheels, I'm pleased to recommend this long-standing family operation. From sales to service to parts in the body shop, Geyer's approach is always personal and professional. You'll find very good buys on factory program vehicles direct from Chrysler, like the minivan that I drive. Visit Geyers in Fort Loramie.
Lehman 5 out of 10 from three-point land. They're not hesitant about putting that shot up from behind the arc. And there's 2 or 3 different players that'll put it up there. So John Cook wanted to call time out there and see if they can't extend the defense a little bit to keep those long-range shooters under control.
And I think that score has just been corrected. I believe Lehman was a point short. And so now that extra point has been put on there. It's 25-12. Shot up, no good by Dodds. So our book does balance finally. Orlick top of the key. Lehman weaving, looking for a good 3. Orlick thought about it. He'll wait for Haney. Haney tries to split defenders, gives to Orlick. 3 more, you bet. Orlick.
When you got a shooter like Orlick, you run plays around him, and as soon as he gets the ball, he fires it up.
He has 11 thus far, has a season high of 36. Baker will bring it low to Plattfoot, draws the crowd, spins up off the window, and good. That looks like something Jackson needs to do more of. That breaks a pretty long drought for the visitors. Lehman weaving again out front. Against now, I believe, a 1-2-2. They'll bounce to the baseline. There's a return inside to Malarkey. He's fouled. Pretty good sequence there as Lehman kind of lulled Jackson to sleep on the outside, then took the ball down low. Mark Plattfoot, will be called for the block. His first and the team's 5th as 5 individuals have committed single fouls. Malarkey at the stripe, first, good. He'll go once more. (29-14), looking for 30 in the 16-point lead. It's on its way and in and out. Karam to Plattfoot of JC. Off to Bunky. He'll bring it down. Myers, left corner to Plattfoot. Plattfoot heads baseline. Sends it out where Bunky finds a seam, puts it off the window, no good. Lehman has numbers on the break. Right side, Orlick. He'll send it ahead, layup, a lot of contact. Should be a bucket by Haney. Foul on 33, Shane Myers, as we get the call from Joe Clayton. Pete Haney hits the deuce, and we'll look for one more point. 31-14, Lehman all over Jackson Center, trying to get their first win of the season against the Shelby County League team after losing to Botkins and Fairlawn. 18-point lead. Another steal for Lehman. Turnover's a big bugaboo. Malarkey sends it ahead. They'll screen for Orlick. 3 more off the back of the rim. Bunky with the carom. Tigers need to run some offense, get some points. Bunky will send it to the baseline. Plattfoot, he draws a crowd. Send it over the zone to Myers. Entry pass to Dodds, and over his back will be Matt Sargent, his second. It'll still be common. More of our sponsors include AAA Shelby County and Travel to Paradise, Doctors Urbank, Boslett and Justice Family Medicine, the Amos Memorial Public Library, Emerson Wagner Realty, Sydney Flower Shop, and Tooling Technology of Fort Loramie. Inbounds to Myers. He'll take a 3. That's a little bit strong. Dembski the rebound on the weak side. He'll throw the bomb. Good on the right wing to Justin Sager. Into the paint. Hits the cutter through the key. Blocked on the shot by Malarkey. Good job there as Plattfoot, kind of an all-in-one defender, not only blocks it but pulls it away. Bunky over to Myers. 5 minutes till halftime. They'll bring the ball low. That's up and in by Dodds. Nice assist by Baker. That'll give Dodds 4. Jackson 2-1-2, it appears, with Flatfoot in the middle. Cavs again weaving, some contact out front. They'll call that on Bunky. His first, so the trend of single fouls against the Tigers continues as Mitch Geisy, who had a couple of early infractions for Lehman, will come into the game. He'll give Orlick a break.
Well, Jerry Freeze is kind of playing a lot of people tonight, which is kind of unusual. He's been running them in and out ever since the 2-minute mark of the first quarter.
And Hampshire back in for Lehman. Stockstill will re-enter for Myers for Jackson Center. Baker, Bunky, Flatfoot, Dodds, and Stockstill for the visitors. Free throws up, that's no good from Haney. Rebound Tigers. Some fancy dribbling there by Baker. He'll give it off to Bunky, now to Stockstill. Entry pass to Baker, found himself open, but instead tried to pass. It's intercepted. Dembski all the way back, sends it to the baseline. Up, that's good. Thought he'd gotten a little bit too far under, but Pete Haney got that basket. 34-16, Jackson again down by 18 points. Stockstill over to Bunky, guarded by the much taller Hampshire. Playing with a couple of fouls. There will be an infraction on Dembski. Dembski's first, and we'll have the 1-and-1 both ways. Almost halfway through the second period, brought to you in part by the Shelby County Historical Society, People's Federal Savings and Loan Association in Sydney, Anna, and Jackson Center, Super Subbies, Sub Salads and Chili, Bunny's Pharmacy, First National Bank of Sydney, New Bremen, Botkins, and Wapakoneta, and Dave Wilson State Farm Insurance. Flatfoot at the stripe. First is good. He's earned the bonus. He has 3 points. They've been in this quarter. 34-17, Lehman by 17 points. Once more, same result. That'll get Orlick back in for Lehman. He will replace Haney, who acquitted himself with 9 pretty quick points.
I think most coaches will take 9 points off the bench.
In that time frame,
right.
Most certainly. Well, and Lehman, with all the subbing they've done, has kept up a pretty nice pace out on the floor. Here's Dembski, lost control, kept the dribble alive. Bunky knocks it away, gets a steal. Bunky to the attacking zone, gets trapped near the timeline. Ahead to Stockstill. He'll hook it down low. That's Baker, who's found himself open several times right there. He responds with a bucket to go to 7 points. 34-20. 3:35 till intermission. Dave Ross with Bob Wise and our cameraman Dan Eccles from Lehman High School. Now 1-2-2 with Woolley on top for the Jackson defense. Here's Malarkey saving for Dembski. He'll call for a reset. Defended by Bunky, throws right side for Orlick. Jerry Freeze doesn't like what he sees at the moment. Lehman takes time. They're up by 14 points. It will be a full timeout. Tony Steeman and his staff await your visit at Abby's on Wapak Road, just north of Russell in Sydney. Their great menu includes weekly specials for each meal of the day. Try some of my personal favorites, including pork chops, French fried chicken, which I enjoyed a couple of nights ago, and also pancakes. Abby's offers carry-out service on all items, so call ahead for best service. Open till 11 on Friday and Saturday nights. Abby's is your one-stop for a delicious meal, a quick snack, and catering. Remember Abby's in Sydney. Also with us on tonight's telecast of Lehman versus the SCL, Jackson Center, Minster Bank, Spot Restaurant, Errol Browd of Edward Jones and Company, Dickman Supply Company, Mark Knupp Muffler and Tire of Piqua, Sydney Shelby County YMCA, and Sydney Interstate Shell.
I think you had the right idea. For Jackson Center to be successful, they got to get the ball inside to their big people. They can't shoot with the little guards over top of Lehman.
And they've even found Baker at 5'9" open inside a couple of times. Wide open, in fact, resulting in his most recent points to raise his team leading total to 7. 34-20 Lehman. Hampshire into the key will go from 13 feet. That's around and off. And over the back on the rebound will be Geisy. He got a little excited, but from this angle, that looked pretty obvious. It's his third personal, and Jerry Freese very quickly will dispatch a substitute into the game. Since this is 1-1, Justin Sager will be allowed to enter immediately. Avery Stockstill, 5'9" sophomore, will go 1-1 for Jackson Center. 2:57 left in the second period. This one's good. One more time, this could make it a 12-point game. It'll fall short. Lehman with a big rebounding edge with Sager. Off to Dembski. Let's double check. This may be some man-on-man, or at least some of those principles. We'll have a foul whistled on Lehman. Looked like an illegal screen on the opposite side. Orlick will commit his first. This will be 1-1 at the opposite end of the floor with 2:45 on the board. Quarter number 2 from Lehman High School, brought to you in part by Area Energy and Electric with Verizon Wireless, Abby's Restaurant, Shelby County Collectibles, and Geyers Chrysler in Fort Loramie.
Well, Jackson Center has a chance to get back in this game at the free throw line if Lehman continues to foul.
Free throw's good by Stockstill. He'll get one more. That'll put him to 4 points. Within 12, now 11. Wasn't too long ago we were saying 18 points. Hampshire for the Cavs, back to Dembski. Hampshire on the left. Maybe a matchup zone now as we see when the cutters go through, they're not being followed. Shot no good by Dembski. On the rebound, maybe Bunky of Jackson on the foul. That is the case. It'll be his second. Going to the stripe for Lehman will be Justin Sager. The 1-1 is good. Sager with 3 points. Looks for number 4 as his team's back up by a dozen. On its way and good. 36-23. Bunky ahead to Stockstill. Trouble on the dribble. Loose ball at midcourt. Here comes Lehman. Sargent nicely to Orlick for the layup. Orlick 5 in the quarter, 13 for the contest. 38-23. What went down to an 11-point lead is now 15, and Lehman gets another steal at the 2-minute warning. Dembski tries a lob inside. Sager's up and good. Sager 4 in the period, 6 for the first half. The lead goes from 18 to 11 to 17 points. Just like a yo-yo. Dangerous cross court to Bunky. Hampshire unable to save it. Actually ran right past his mother, who is an honorary coach on the Lehman bench this evening.
She has the corsage on?
That's safe to say.
I think that's a good idea. They've done that for a year or two.
Sure. Anytime you reach out to get more folks involved in your program, more intimately involved, obviously people who are involved to start with as parents.
And she can see herself on TV tomorrow.
Shot by Bunky is blocked. Here comes Lehman. They're on the break. It's to Dembski, a little bit out of control. That's no good. Here's Bunky on the break. He'll go in man-on-man against Orlick, who faked a charge. That's no good. The rebound, though, is good by Flatfoot, whose 6 points have come in this quarter. 40-25. 15-point Lehman lead, 1 minute till halftime. Orlick hooks it inside to Sargent. That's blocked by Flatfoot. Jackson with a 2-on-2. Bunky left side, brings it under. Up and good. Nice double clutch.